Welcome back to Will Work for a Podcast, the podcast for all those in the job hunt, seeking the fit, fulfillment, all the things that you're trying to look for in your professional life. I'm Daniel Thornton, and with me, as always, is
Brendan Boland.
now just another week, another day, another dollar. So let's talk about. I guess you wanted to reflect on like our interview
Last
with
week.
Alex Love.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I just think that's a great, I really appreciate whenever we do bring in someone that's kind of in that space, whether it's, diversity, equity, inclusion, or talking
Yeah,
about like workers advocacy. Look, we've had some great conversations with that. And, I mean, Alex's perspective just in general on like what the barriers to employment that exist for so many people, not even getting into like the workplace culture stuff, because that itself was fascinating. But I think that that's something I really want to sit with more is like what exists currently for a lot of people. And we've kind of talked about that with like language and like job descriptions and how they're written. Um, but even just like the process. And so like, if you're in a position of power within an organization, what could you be doing to disrupt some of that? I just really thought that was cool.
Yeah, and I really want to bring her back onto the show because we didn't get to a lot of topics that I wanted to talk about. I wanted to talk about like advocacy on the employee level, advocacy when you're applying level, and we've talked about that a little bit on very like
Before. Yeah.
bare bones like, but I want to get into more of like what are the actions you take. But uh we'll do that another time, but I did really enjoy our conversation, and it kind of bled over because like this week we were talking about like the future of work at our company and like what does it do, what does that mean, what does our company look like in the coming years because of remote work and all those things to go. And I it just really it really showed me that at this particular point in like history where the employees have a lot of power and we should be advocating to like change and advocating to include more of these diversity and inclusion practices, like not only local, like not even local inclusion, like international inclusion and all of those things of like spreading our minds and like putting a bigger ring around like who are in our company, who can we employ and all those things.
Yeah, I know for our company, one example of that is they've tried to, or they're about to start doing more like equity circles, not and equity
Mhm.
and affinity circles, and actually, but instead of just having that, I think they've had it before as a way to do processing. I think this time it is more for that the future like impactful change piece of and
Mhm.
like really getting our different types of staff, both in terms of like job descriptions, roles, identities, and things like that, and then hopefully I think that the idea is this core group of people are going to take the results of that and then see what kind of steps the staff are asking for.
Mhm.
So yeah, it is cool to see some of this enacted in the places that we work.
Yeah, and for all those out there, we hope that you are advocating in your employment to, create more diversity, inclusion and in practices. So and yeah, that kind of flows into our rejection letter of the week, which comes from Reddit and comes from Serialus, who said, I got a rejection letter a full 2 years after I applied for a job one time. I had not only found a different job, I had left that different job and found yet another job in that time. What a useful letter that was. I'm convinced it's just some sadist who hadn't bothered anyone yet that day. So snap, snap. Um but I mean, this kind of got us talking because for me, I guess that's fine. Like if you don't get an interview, like then that's fine. Do you think that's fine, or is it like why send the rejection letter at all?
I mean, we have talked on this before because we both had months of silence, right?
Yeah,
And then all of a sudden you get it, but we were still in the hunt at that point.
right,
So that was an even brutal blow because you already didn't expect it, and then it came. This
right,
this I think just becomes the farce of like you got to be kidding me, right? But I think realistically, if you've ever applied to anything, I would hope that you eventually get some sort of automatic email that just says you haven't been picked. And I know that requires an extra step, and I know that that's like logistically maybe a challenge depending on the size of your company. But yeah, like I want that closure. I want to know for a
right.
fact that like they hired somebody else, they're not hiring me, and good. I'm gonna let it go because I don't know, maybe I'll wake up 3 weeks from now and be like, wait, did I, like,
Right.
oh, you right? So I don't know.
No, I mean, also, yeah, it's just really important to get that closure because you it helps drive you more because like sometimes it's the like push that you need to be like, okay, I need to like apply to more jobs or reach out to more connections. And when you're trying to hold on to that little hope,
Right.
sometimes it just like weighs you down because you're thinking, oh, it could be I might have this job, like they haven't said no yet, so like I'm like, let me wait. Where I yeah so I really wish that there was like some. I don't know how hard it is to do like some automated focusing and just going, hey, you all didn't get it. It's fine. Like, it's okay. I realize that it's just an application and you shouldn't put your hopes and dreams into that. But still, we need that kind of feedback, you know? It doesn't even have to be long. Just say, you didn't get it. Bye. Like, that's it. And then you go from there. So, anyways, guys, I hope that wherever you are, whatever you're doing, we're with you. Don't worry about your rejection letters. We got you. You can send them to us. We can read them out on there. We'll be a part of the experience and we'll be there to support you. You can email us at willworkforpodcast@gmail.com. You can message us on LinkedIn, Instagram, all the platforms, Facebook, on Spotify too. And like and subscribe and on with the show.
Rate and review, y'all.
Rate and review.